A mum from Chandler's Ford, who is actually scared of heights, is determined to climb the Matterhorn to raise funds towards a dedicated children's A&E department at Southampton Hospital. Shadi Ganjavian-Connor is bidding to raise £14,692, which equates to the same height as the Matterhorn, and if successful, the money she raises will actually be doubled. Well, thank you for joining us, and I suppose the first question is, so if you're scared of heights, why are you climbing a mountain?
Yeah, I think everyone keeps on asking me that question. I quite like a challenge, and I've sort of gone down the route of doing your half marathons, your Tough Mudders for charity and things like that. And I've sort of depleted used up all my friends' resources for things like that. So I thought a big challenge. Last year I climbed Mont Blanc for Teenage Cancer Trust at the General Hospital.
And I think we've actually got some pictures of your last attempt there as well. So.
Yeah, so that was fantastic. I had lots of support from the community, and everyone was like, well, what's the next challenge? And the Matterhorn seems like the next sort of step up as such. You know, once you've done Mont Blanc, you need to go for something a bit more challenging. I definitely don't like heights. I mean, even a wall, indoor climbing centre, I get quite, nervous about going on the wall. And I don't like being cold at all. My husband can vouch for that. I'm like an onion in the winter. So I found out that the Murray Parish Trust were looking for funds for this amazing A&E department at Southampton General. The government have actually paid for the shell, so the foundations are there and the shell's there, and it's dedicated exclusively for children, which is incredible. But of course, there's not enough money to kit it up. So they're working really hard to raise this money that they need. I think it's a total of 4.9 million that they need. The government are match funding, which makes this project so exciting because every pound is doubled in essence. And once the unit's there, it will take pressure off John Radcliffe and Great Ormond Street and the other dedicated paediatric units. So it's a wonderful project.
Fantastic. I mean, obviously we're talking about the Children's Hospital there, or at least a new A&E department for it. So why was it that you decided to sort of pick that as your sort of area to go into, if you like?
Yeah, so early on this year, I was in the A&E department at the General Hospital in Southampton with a relative who suffers from mental health problems. And there was a lot of screaming and commotion, which was highly embarrassing for her, presumably, and anyone that was witnessing it. And it dawned on me how if there was a child in that sort of environment where there is more and more cases of mental health, or, a situation where children shouldn't really witness sick people. So that sort of highlighted to me that this isn't a place for children. It would be nice to have something that is maybe doesn't feel so much like a hospital, and they don't have to come across adults that are maybe in a situation that's not appropriate for a child to witness. So yes, it sort of all came together quite nicely. It has a tendency of doing that. When you want to do something, the opportunities come your way. I've got a friend called Tina Dine and a friend called Sarah Lewington. They've got their ears to the ground and always sort of going to me, well, what about this and what about that? So they steered me to the Murray Parish Trust because I didn't actually know who they were.
Okay.
Yeah. And
what sort of preparations have you been doing ahead of this trip? I mean, obviously we said there before that you're scared of heights, so what's your coping mechanism for that as well?
It is a case of mind over matter and just keep going and face your fears. I think that it's quite liberating to do that. And then when you've got a community of people behind you that are fundraising and working hard to organise events, children, I've got a lot of local schools that have signed up for talks. I go around to schools and do talks, assemblies as such, 20 minutes, 25 minutes. I show them where I'm going, why I'm going. I show them my equipment or my ropes, my ice axe and things like that, and they get excited, and then they go off and do their little bit of fundraising. So in the moment when you're on the mountain and you feel that, you're scared or you're tired or you don't really want to be doing it, you sort of think about all those people that are working so hard, fundraising, and where the money's going to ultimately go. So you just keep going. I don't think it really properly hits you until you're back to the base of the mountain. So yeah, that's mind over matter.
Brilliant, brilliant. Well, obviously mind over matter is one thing, but you still need sponsorship to be able to make the journey and to raise this money for this cause. So what sort of people are you looking for to sort of help you out with this?
Anybody who's local. I mean, ultimately this hospital is going to take children from 9 counties, so, you know, quite a wide distance. Anyone who's willing to do, you know, coffee mornings, every penny goes a long way. Local businesses, it's quite easy for them to write a little check out and know that that's going to be doubled. I think that's quite nice, and I'm quite happy to go to the businesses and do talks if they want to do that sort of thing and hear about my adventure, because there's always a story to tell. So anyone out there who's willing and able to put money in the hospital, I'll grab their money and run.
And just finally then, before we run out of time, when are you actually taking on the challenge?
Yeah, so I leave on the 14th of July this year. And I head over to Geneva, go into France, do a couple of climbs there, acclimatise, and then go back to Switzerland and start the climb up the Matterhorn.
Fantastic. Yep. Well, we all here wish you the very best of luck.
Thank you.
And do let us know how you get on.
I definitely will. Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.